Again, another good example of using GPS technology layered into a mobile application is automating mileage tracking. So if you have a fleet of vehicles, or any employee, whether it's corporate fleet, personal use, and you're reimbursing in some way for their mileage use, what if you could improve the accuracy of mileage expense? Studies have shown organizations who have started to automate the capture of mileage have reduced mileage expenses anywhere from 13 to 22%. And there's a variety of reasons for that. You know, whether it's just rounding errors, calculation errors on manual entry, disposition of numbers. And again, this is something that we've done very successfully in helping organizations improve and reduce their mileage expenses. If you have fleet, again, it's still fuel, wear and tear, being able to track that and even potentially price deliveries better or use better routing. Again, it kind of ties into the last example, but doing route planning. So now you've done some scheduling, you're tracking the mileage, leveraging the information you're collecting, building a mobile application in conjunction with your internal scheduling system to start suggesting the best route for an employee to follow based on their visit schedule or the addresses they need to deliver at. Again, whether you're paying mileage, whether you have a fleet of vehicles, whether you're paying hourly workers to sit in traffic. Those are all areas where you can cut expenses and even improve quality of life. If you can suggest using information from other sources, some traffic monitoring sources, pull that into your route planning, you might be able to schedule that downtown Toronto stop in an appropriate time where there isn't heavy traffic congestion. Or you now know you've got these 10 visits, what's the most orderly, logical fashion to deliver those in, looking at mileage between each location. That doesn't mean that you can't include variables such as preferred time of delivery to meet customer satisfaction. All those variables can be built in. Even if you don't have service workers in the field, the route planning can also come into play to help your sales people in the field be more effective in their day. Case number 9. We talked a little bit about this earlier on. If you can eliminate or reduce the amount of invoicing you need to do from central office by collecting payment on site, there are a number of areas where you can see some ROI. Again, collections, just think of cash management. You no longer need to do administrative internal invoicing, the delays, reduce DSO. There is very much technology available today to allow that to happen. What we do see coming slowly to North America is even embedded chips within smartphones to facilitate mobile payments called the digital wallet. So we're going to see a lot of things happen here, but there is already technology available today to do this, to take credit cards, even debit cards, and process them. So here's some areas when you're looking at the last case around reducing invoicing, billing, and collections. Again, based on the maturity level of your organization, a number of factors go into that. But even if you're at a level 2 organization and you could improve your gross margin on a project a couple of percents, what if you reduced your revenue leakage? How would that impact your bottom line? And you may have some different key performance indicators in your organization. Start to think about how you would the cost of not improving those, or the savings and benefits of improving on those KPIs. Another great example in our area of ROI is real-time documentation. And unfortunately, we do live in litigious times. And documenting actions and events and observations at the time they happen are becoming more important. Even capturing and sharing these electronic documents and protecting them and archiving them is becoming just as important. So if you look at things such as using barcode readers in documents, and, marketing, and as we go down this, down this path, having accurate data collection supports a lot of various claims, whether it's legal. We've seen a lot of this in the hazardous goods industry, where we have a lot of consultants and transportation involved in moving goods from one location to the other. And we've seen opportunities to improve the paperwork that's required and reduce the amount of paperwork using mobile solutions. And if you think about it, this isn't anything new. You've probably seen it, experienced yourself when the FedEx guy comes to deliver your parcel, or UPS, or Purolator, and they've been doing a lot of real-time documentation for years, and this is really no different. How can you take anything that's happening where you need to capture information and do it in an efficient electronic way? So along the lines of capturing information, now that if you're capturing it real time, you have a better chance of supporting a case later on if you do end up in a legal or liability issue. Whether it's an engineer who took a picture of the work he was doing before and after, around some type of a pump or other piece of equipment, and somebody later on gets injured because it was claimed some bolt wasn't there. If they have a picture, it shows the bolt. Pretty good chance you can reduce your legal claim. I've seen this even to just provide information to field workers who have highly technical, skilled jobs, whether it's repairing equipment in the field, engineering on site. At least having the information in their hands while they're performing their job is another way of reducing liability in legal claims. They're unlikely to skip a step, or if they're in doubt, they have an easy way to access the information to confirm. And even just obtaining electronic signatures from clients, advising them of risks that were documented going into it before you perform or after you perform some work. Again, not really trying to focus on CRM per se, but there are sales activities where there are benefits from deploying a mobile strategy. And I'm really not talking about tracking opportunities and leads. And what we're really talking about is taking solutions to the market, and it might be marketing information, it might be product information, and being able to shorten that sales cycle. A good example is a short video that explains how a product works, or how a piece of machinery can do a certain function that people can visualize. Something you can't explain easily. You don't want to pull out a laptop because you've got 30 seconds in an elevator, or you're having a business lunch and you can easily hand over an iPhone and they can watch it or see a picture, an image of something, and help facilitate the discussion. It's obviously a way of reducing printed materials. And if you're in an industry where the information is changing rapidly, a lot of the time you have sales folks in the field that are carrying outdated information. This way, electronically, they can not only display it easily to the prospect, but then they themselves can keep current. And industrial sales is a good example of this. I've got a client who does a lot of belting in food and manufacturing, and often they do a lot of custom work. So not only can they illustrate some of the custom things they've done for other clients, but they can use the information and the product specs in the field to get an order. So what are some of the priorities around mobility? You know, where are organizations looking at in all of these examples to enhance their maturity? Well, if you look at corporate email, you can see that, and no surprise, about 84% of organizations already dealt with that. Not only can they get email in the office or out of the office via a laptop, via a BlackBerry or an iPhone. That's been well covered. Really where the opportunities are around providing information. So business intelligence is an area where there's lots of growth opportunity. Field service is an area that's underserviced. Time and expense is an area where organizations haven't overly invested to date. And you can see that it's not a big surprise if you even look a little bit by vertical industry where some organizations have been lower to adopt, and that's, again, representative of their industry and even the organization's maturity level. But there's a lot of organizations who are planning to improve their mobility in the area of business intelligence, further enhance their CRM and time and travel. Project management is another area that's been highly underserviced. And for a number of the examples we went through that are applicable to this area, we've relied on spreadsheets and internal line of business applications to do project management, time and expense and billing. And we really haven't taken those solutions out to the workforce, the mobile workforce quite often in these areas, to effectively capture time and expense as it's happening and help drive better project management. Whether that be through more regular budget to actual analysis by the project managers themselves, or even just measuring profitability of projects more effectively. If people are entering their time and expenses at the end of the week in an Excel sheet, there's just a whole variety of areas where it's less likely to be accurate.